Welcome everybody, welcome to another video. Today we are going to talk about Djembe, proper Djembe technique. So if you are a beginner, this will be very helpful, and even if you play for some time now, I think it will be very helpful too. So let's begin. This is just a piece of wood with skin on top of it. So you can play however you want to play it. But if you bring into consideration the whole context, the whole background, its origin, the people and time through which it was developed and all of that, well, now you don't have only a piece of wood with skin on top, now you have the djembe, which means there's specific sounds and techniques and language, musical language and all of that. So what is the proper djembe technique? There isn't a one-size-fits-all because there are different playing styles, different techniques. It depends on that, it depends on you, what you want, even your physiognomy to a lesser extent. But there are of course some general basic concepts, and what I can do is share those basic ideas, and I can definitely share how I play and how I develop my technique and what's my technique. So let's go, let's begin. So as you probably already know, there are three main sounds for the djembe, and in English we call those three sounds bass, tone and slap. So let's begin with the easiest one, the bass. So for the bass, we just need to use our whole hand, and we're going to emphasize on this area, but we use the whole hand in the middle, in the center of the skin, just like so. That's the bass note. You could play it a little bit off the center also, but that will produce a slightly different sound. Now let's go to the tone and the slap. Now for the tone and the slap, there are three main things that will make the difference, which is the surface area of your hand, the amount of surface area of your hand that will be in contact with the skin of the djembe, and also to a lesser extent the amount of time your hand is in contact with the skin in the moment of the stroke, of the strike, and even to a lesser extent the placement of the hand. So if you have less time and less surface area in contact with the skin of the djembe, you will have a higher pitch sound, like a slap. And if you have more time and more surface area of your hand in contact with the skin, it will produce a lower pitch sound, like the tone. So let's begin and see what our hands will do when playing the tone and the slap. For both tone and slap, we will use this part of our hand, not this, not this, this. Basically the opposites to your knuckles, this side, this. We are going to use this to strike the djembe on the edge. Not the fingers, again, not this, but this. Now the fingers, of course, they will just come along for the ride, and they will touch the skin of the djembe, of course, as well. But this is the striking point. This goes into this area. Now for the slap, we will have our fingers relaxed, just like this. And because our fingers are relaxed, that means that it will be mostly the tip of the fingers that will get in contact with the skin. And it will be very quick. So less skin of your hand and less time in contact with the skin, that produces a higher pitch sound. Now for the tone, this again, exactly the same thing, but the placement of the hand, we will move it slightly. This is the less important thing. Slightly in this direction, slightly. So we will just follow the natural resonance of the drum. On the edge, it's higher pitch, and to the center, it will have a lower pitch. So we will just follow that. So the placement of the hand will be slightly in this direction. But more important than that, we will have more tension in our hand, which means that our fingers will have more tension as well, which means that the surface area here will be higher than just the tip of the fingers. It will be this area, mostly, that will be in contact with the skin, instead of just the tips of the fingers when we play the slap. It will be more this area. So because it's this area, and because it's more surface area in contact with the skin, this will produce a lower pitch sound. So again, same movement of the hand and forearms, same striking area on the edge of the drum, slightly, very, very slightly, you don't even have to pay attention almost, in this direction. And the most important thing, tension. Of course, not completely stiff, not completely relaxed, not completely stiff, just more tension in the hand. That's why in the beginning, a lot of times you may be advised to close your fingers to play the tone note. And that is because, again, if you have to close your fingers, that inadvertently means that you will have more tension in the hands and you will use more surface area of your hand. But of course, it's not really necessary to close the fingers, although it's a nice way to do it in the beginning. But what you need really to focus on is to have more tension in the hand and use a little bit more this area instead of the tip of the fingers. And this is what's going to produce the tone. And so if you look, when I play the slap or the tone, my hand placement basically doesn't move. My fingers also don't move. They seem the same thing always. But what you may not see is actually the tension. When I play the slap, my hands is relaxed, which again, it means that the tip of the fingers is what is going to be in contact with the skin. But when I play the tone, I have more tension here, which means the fingers will not be as relaxed, which means more surface area in contact with the skin. Slap, tone. That's it. That's what differentiates the two notes. The tension in your hand, basically. So now that we know the basics and the general idea and what makes a difference between these three sounds. I'm just going to leave you with a very basic, very simple exercise that you can do, and even if you just do 5 minutes every day, it's enough to improve rather quickly. And you just need to play this exercise very slowly, and then as you feel more comfortable, you can speed up the tempo. So the exercise is simply bass, bass, tone, tone, slap, slap. And each note we are going to begin with our dominant hand. So for me, it's my right hand. Bass, bass, tone, tone, slap, slap, bass, bass. And voila, that's it, crystal clear. Now you know the difference between the slap and the tone and the bass, what makes a difference, and you also have a simple exercise to help you develop those sound differences in your technique. I hope you got something out of this, and I will see you in the next video. Be well.